I'm going to say something, guys. And I'll tell you right now, that Democratic convention was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It wasn't conventional, but it was phenomenal. What you can see, what you saw there was intellectualism at its finest. Contrast that with the buffoon in the White House. And you Trump supporters, I'm about to drag you for a minute. So if you're not happy about people dragging you for your support of Trump, you probably don't want to listen to this, but I am definitely going to drag you. This guy wanted to inject like Lysol or whatever it was into our body and some sun rays and some other stuff through the body in order to get rid of the coronavirus. He legitimately thought that you could inject some stuff into some people's body. Like, if you saw that was Dr. Burks or whatever her name was, she was so troubled, she didn't even know what to do. She didn't know what to do. He was dead serious. It wasn't a joke. And also, if you were joking, like, how are you joking about something like that and when thousands of people are dying? But this guy legitimately thought we could do some kind of injection into the body and then, like, send the rays through the body. I think it'll work. I mean, if at that point you as a Trump supporter weren't like, all right, that's it, I'm out. And something is fundamentally wrong with you. Fundamentally. He is the laughingstock of the globe. Literally the laughingstock. All over the world, they make fun of him mercilessly. He's a joke. You let somebody like him, he's telling people, like, look, okay, so what you need to do is take 16 pills of ibuprofen. Then take another 16 pills of acetaminophen. Then you should take 45 pills of acetaminophen 3.4. Then take 16 pills of Benadryl, and I'm telling you, the coronavirus will be gone. I'm telling you guys now, do it. He's telling people to take hydroxychloroquine or whatever it was. Take it. This guy has no idea whether it'll work. People took it and they died. This is the president of the United States. Somebody who has millions of people that listen to him legitimately abide by every single thing he says. And the president of the United States is just making up. They take some injection. You can kind of, injections into the body. And then, just take some hydroxychloroquine. Because, I mean, if you take it, I think it's going to work. I have no reason to think it's going to work. I don't even really know how to say it. I've never read up on it. I've never really talked to any doctor about it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's going to work. Some of you are probably out there looking for household products to inject into your body. I can guarantee you there are MAGA supporters who are going to get syringes and stuff like that, putting bleach and some other household chemicals in there and injecting them into your bodies because you think that Trump has found the cure. He's the man that walked on water in 2020. That is who this guy is to you guys. He's going over there, sprinkling his hands, and all of a sudden the water turned to wine. And that's how you guys are looking at this guy. Like he's Jesus Christ reincarnated. And then after he tells you, he's blah 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 blah, all this weird shit, and then all of a sudden you guys are expecting him to you're going to fly through the air and stuff. You're going to be flying like an eagle. He can say anything to you guys and you will listen to it. You will believe it. But he's a kook. He's a quack. He's one flew over the cuckoo's nest. He's the biggest conspiracist, too. Look at some of the stuff he says. He's like, how do we even know if the mailbox is really a mailbox? I mean, I've looked at some of the mailboxes before, and they didn't look like mailboxes to me. So how can we trust that the ballots are going to get to the UPS people? How do we know that? How do we even know the UPS drivers are really driving UPS trucks? How do we know? Some of those people could be impersonators, going around collecting ballots. And how do we know that the stamps are real stamps? Because they could not be stamps, too. They could be fake stamps. How do we know people are even really people? We could all be aliens. I don't know. That's the kind of stuff you guys are listening to from this guy. He's like, we should be very careful about those mail-in ballots. Because, when people mail things in, I heard this story. Many, many people are saying it. I heard this story one time. And this guy, he mailed something through the UPS. All of a sudden, he vanished. Nobody heard of him again. He disappeared. And then we come to find out the guy never even existed. But they saw him in the post office. There's a video of the guy in the post office. But he wasn't real. He wasn't a real person. That was his dead body coming back to life. I mean, this is the kind of quackery you guys are listening to as Trump supporters, and you are still digesting it, and you are allowing this man to consistently tell you these kind of stories and lie to you consistently, scare you, use scare tactics, tell you that your life is going to be destroyed if you don't vote for him. The radical left is trying to indoctrinate your kids, and all of a sudden they're going to make your kids into witches, and your kids are going to have bat wings, and then they're going to be walking around eating on all four hands, other hands and legs, and they're not going to be able to walk anymore, and then sooner or later they're going to go blind, and I mean, just like all kinds of quackery. And you guys are over there like, yeah, you know what? I've got to vote for this guy. Otherwise, Trump is saying that if we don't, our kids are all going to be born with 2 fingers. I mean, come on, people. Come on, man. At some point, you have to respect yourself more than this. This is buffoonery. And we are the laughingstock. Do you like to be a joke? Did you walk around life and say, I like the fact that I'm a joke? Because that's what's happening to us right now. In addition to his buffoonery, he is inept, he's impulsive, he's flippant, he's erratic, he's a sociopath, he's heartless, he's a bully, he's a tyrant, he's a liar, he's a criminal. I mean, I'm just trying to, I'm so confused here. Like, he has no redeeming qualities at all, like zero. You guys are like, oh, he tells it like it is, man. Man, I love that story when he told me about how, our kids are going to have, the best lives after this, man. I'm living in my car right now with my kids, but, man, I was inspired. Really inspired. He's done nothing for you. Literally, legitimately nothing for you. You Trump supporters who sit there and support this guy. He's done legitimately nothing for you. As a matter of fact, he's taken from you. He's having you give him money so you can help enrich him and his family. He takes taxpayers' money to make sure he can go golfing and enriches his properties. He made sure that that tax plan was passed that benefited him but didn't benefit you, the average Trump supporter. You've got nothing. Literally nothing. As a matter of fact, you're losing. You're getting your ass kicked. We're at war with a virus. And he has his bone spurs and he's in a bunker. But you guys are still willing to support him. Come on, man. What exactly are you supporting? What is it? You can say, oh, he tells it like it. I love the way he tells it like it is, man. He's really honest. Really? He's told more lies than all of us could tell in our entire lifetime. In just those 4 years that he was president. He's told more lies. He hasn't risen to the occasion, like has been said repeatedly. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's too stupid to know what he's doing. Wake up. You guys believe anything you hear. They tell you, oh my God, Obama spied on my campaign. He did. He spied on it. He was the president of the United States and everything. He's supposed to be looking for people who are trying to threaten democracy. But, I mean, come on, man. I was just trying to steal an election. And you guys are like, oh my God, I can't believe that he actually spied in your campaign while you were engaged in all this criminal activity. Like, I mean, how was the president supposed to be defending against Trump? You guys are literally so brainwashed. It is disgusting. You are in a cult. You don't want to believe you're in a cult, but you are in a cult. You are in a domestic violence situation. You are being abused consistently, and you don't want to leave that abusive relationship. You are so connected to your abuser, and your abuser is the fraud in the White House. You don't want to believe that, but it is the truth. This is domestic violence. Nothing less than domestic violence. And at some point, you need to ask yourself, do I want to survive this? And don't think that you cannot get this virus. Oh, don't think so. And when you do, you'll just be another number. The way you've treated all those people who have died, you also will just be another number. Because he doesn't care about you, and he never will. This is a guy that wants you to inject bleach into your arms or whatever the nonsense he was saying. Are you even remotely wondering why he's at war with the post office? He's at the war with the post office for one and two reasons. Number one, he's trying to suppress the votes because he understands the writing is on the wall. If you look at the polls, the margin of error, Joe Biden is well outside of that, which means Joe Biden is most likely going to win this next election if people are able to vote. The second reason that he needs to come up with a justification for why he loses the election. So he wants to argue that it was actually stolen from him. So he doesn't have to go and hang his head in shame, because for Trump, losing this next election means he's a failure, and Trump doesn't like to believe he's a failure. So as a consequence, he's trying to make sure that he has a backup plan, which says the election was stolen. But you do understand this is a constitutionally protected right, correct? You understand that. You call yourself a patriot. You were so mad. They're kneeling for the flag. I'm so mad they're kneeling for injustices. You guys were mad about that because you said it wasn't patriotic. Is it patriotic to infringe upon people's constitutional rights like he has been throughout his presidency? Is it patriotic for a president to try to steal an election? Is that patriotic? And let me just say something else. It is absolutely, unequivocally, undeniably irrelevant whether you like Joe Biden or not, whether you like Kamala Harris or not. It's irrelevant. In this election, this is the most important election in modern history, like Bernie Sanders said. It is. And I know you hear that all the time, and election after election, this is the most important election. This one, categorically, is the most important election of our lifetime. That is indisputable. The question right now is whether or not we are going to save this American experiment. Other empires, like the Roman Empire, they've crumbled. This is an experiment. There is no country in the world like the United States of America. We have vast amount of freedoms in the United States of America. Many countries don't even have them. Even industrialized countries don't have as many freedoms as the people in the United States of America have. So if you like Joe Biden or don't like Joe Biden, that's irrelevant. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do I like myself? Do I love this country? Do I want to preserve this country? Do I like the freedoms that I have, that I take advantage, that are subconscious to me? Do I like those things? And if the answer to those things are yes, then it's a no-brainer what you have to do this next election. He will still be around. Trust me. He will be around. That's guaranteed. He'll probably start Trump TV or some other scam he'll be running. He'll still have his Twitter account. You'll still hear from him. He'll still be able to talk. You'll still be able to see him be obnoxious and loud and rude and a bully. You'll still be able to see all that kind of stuff. He's not going anywhere. But what he should not be is the president of the United States. That is not something that's up for debate. You guys can no longer drag the rest of us down with you. It's unfair. We didn't ask for this. So my thing is that if Joe Biden all he does his entire presidency is that he stops tweeting all the time, he listens to the experts, he reads his briefings, he does his due diligence, he talks to scientists, he talks to the medical experts, and then he comes up with some kind of plan to eradicate coronavirus, that is already a successful presidency. Millions of people are dying, and don't think you won't be one of them. Trump's brother died, he went golfing. You think he cares about you? Who are you? At the end of the day, this is about preservation of democracy. Every other issue, we can deal with that in the next election. This election, you don't have a choice. You can't sit on the sidelines. You can't let people try to influence you and tell you that, that you're not getting everything you want, so therefore you shouldn't vote. There will never be a perfect candidate. You aren't a perfect person. You will never vote again in another election, because if you are looking for a perfect candidate, you will never vote again. And don't act like voting isn't important. You see the consequences of not voting, or for voting for what you presumed was a lesser of two evils. You see the consequences of that. You don't have to love all the policies of Joe Biden. One thing you can guarantee is that him and Kamala are not going to take this country all the way to the ground, drag it to the bottom, and chew it up into microscopic bits and spit it out. There will still be a country that you can live in when this is over, that you are familiar with, that still looks like the country you were born and raised in. You give Trump 4 more years, then you cannot call yourself a patriot.